Hey Glomies, welcome back to Glowing Up. I wanted to check in and say hi and introduce this episode that I'm really excited about. And also to remind you, if you haven't heard last week's episode, it seems like people are really feeling it, and it's a pretty special episode. Caroline and I, after we recorded it, we were like, okay, people are either going to hate this episode and turn it off after 5 minutes, or they're going to be like in tears loving it. And I'm very happy that many of you have given us a really positive response. So if you want to listen to last week's episode, I highly recommend checking it out. We spoke to a family marriage and license counselor. I call it couples counseling. We had a couples counseling session together and really dove deep into our friendship, and it was we were very, very real. We held absolutely nothing back. So check that out. And what else am I here to tell you? I was not in the interview today, which had been planned for a while, just scheduling wise. This guest, we were so excited to have her, and we wanted to just make sure we got her as soon as possible. This interview is really, really good. I've already listened to it, and I've already learned so much, and I really enjoyed hearing these two talk together, so I know you guys will too. And I also have a new podcast out called Bloodbath. Crazy name. That's available on YouTube if you want to check that out. And that's with two other women, just kind of crazy stuff happening there if you're interested, wherever podcasts are available. And if you want to show extra support and write us a review on iTunes and all that. And please do that for this show too. We're really trying to build, we're really trying to make it happen, and we love the Glomies for it. So I'm trying to think what else I want to tell you guys. Oh my gosh, I am working on my tie-dye line. Or no, wait. As I told many people, I'm not calling it tie-dye anymore. I'm calling it hand-dyed because it sounds way more chic. Just the way Caroline calls her fish tinned fish and not canned fish, which is very brand sexy, and it really works for me, which, by the way, her fish is so good. And you guys know I was vegan for a really long time. Then I dipped my toe back in by eating fish. And I pretty much exclusively eat Fish Wife when it comes to tinned fish. I mean, actually am 100% exclusive to them. So the smoked tuna is really delicious. I've never had anything like it. Everyone I know who's tried it raves about it. So if you're interested in supporting Caroline and the show and just trying really chic tinned fish, definitely check out eatfishwife.com. And I'm sorry, we talk about this all the time. So if you guys are annoyed, let me know. And then sleepoverbyesther.com, because actually the sweats are launching like this week for actual real. And it's been a long journey of factories and fabrics and dye tests, and it's definitely been a thing. But I think my goal of making like hand sewn super luxurious sweatpants is, and for a relatively affordable price, I think it's actually happening. So I'm excited. Let me just quickly tell you guys about my breakfast taco that is absolutely rocking my world. I just made one for my fiance, and he actually liked it, which is crazy because we don't have the same taste at all. Because he's like full-blown meat all the time, cheese, cream, heavy creams, and I don't eat any dairy, and I try to be healthy, so we have absolute opposite taste. So I know when he likes something that I've fucking hit it out of the park. I'm going to quickly just go over it for you. So what I do is I get those Siete brand tortillas. You can do any tortilla. Those are the ones I like. And then I put some greens, so like a couple little tiny pieces of spinach, a piece of butter lettuce, just to have that crunch in there. If I have tomato, I'll add it. And then I fry an egg, and then I air fry one of those Trader Joe's hash browns. I know so many of you know what I'm talking about, but if you don't, they look exactly like the McDonald's hash browns. They're just like little, like little tablets of hash brown. I put that in the air fryer, and then right when it's almost done cooking, I add a little bit of vegan cheese on it. So that just kind of melts quickly, take it out, and then I go tortilla, lettuce, egg hash brown with vegan cheese, a little bit of, I add that salt that we, if you're an OG Glow Me, you know that I learned about Maldon finishing salt from frickin' Kiernan Shipka. Okay? Check out her episode, because these young girls, I learn everything from them. I learned about the Maldon finishing salt from Kiernan, and I learned about the Siete Tortillas from an Emma Chamberlain YouTube video. So I'm learning from the youngies, the youngins, the young girls. They know their shit, and I'm loving it. I'm so grateful. So that's my little breakfast taco. Is that everything in it? Oh, and then I'll add, like, I have this very vinegary hot sauce that I got from a restaurant here in LA called All Time, but really any sauce, you know, and it doesn't even need the sauce. When I made it for Dave, he had no sauce and he loved it. So it's so good. And again, throwback to like OG glowing up listeners. My whole thing the first few months that we did this show was, what's a vegan breakfast? Now, this is not a vegan breakfast. It has an egg, but you could certainly deal without the egg. And it's just, to me, a huge accomplishment in life that I eat breakfast. So, and I make it myself. So I'm really proud of myself, feeling myself. Wanted to share that with you in case you guys are interested in you know, if you're looking for new ideas for food, which I always am. So if you guys have recipes, please send them to me. Always send me ideas via Instagram DM or that text number I have, which is the link. You can just click text me on my Instagram bio. So you guys, I think that's it. This episode is awesome. Our guest Rio, she has an incredible new book out. She is like the OG of skincare advice, like transmitting through the internet. And I'm so psyched that we had her on. We actually had her for a live show in New York back when, you know, live entertainment was existing. So it's nice that we get her in this intimate setting. We had forever been wanting to have her on just a normal episode. So I'm really glad we got to make this happen. You guys, our episodes are on YouTube now, so definitely subscribe, check out our YouTube channel, all the things. You get it. Thank you for your... Of course I burped at the last minute. Of course. I almost got through this without that. Thank you for your support, for being here. Truly, we are here to serve you guys and entertain you. So frickin' enjoy. We'll see you guys soon.
Today's sponsor is one that I actually really, really love and use all the time, and it's kind of an interesting sponsor. It's Canva. So I don't know about you guys, but I call myself like an amateur designer. You know, I know how to use Photoshop, but I always find myself having to make decks or one-pagers, and I'm like, what do I use for this? Like PowerPoint, Photoshop, and all those things feel too complicated. There has to be something simple. And I have to say that Canva has completely upped my game design-wise, made my design so much better, look so much slicker, and just feel more consistent across all platforms. Seriously, Canva is that bitch, if I can say that. Canva is an easy-to-use design platform that has everything you need to use to design like a pro. If you're a professional, if you're just getting started, I'm kind of in the middle. Canva helps boost you and your team's productivity and creativity. It's free. You know, there is a paid option, but I use the free one and it's totally fine. And they have everything. There's all kinds of fonts. There's all kinds of graphics. You can do things with the graphics like cut out the background. You can put in whatever graphics you want. You can download special fonts that you like to use. Seriously, Canva has so many abilities and it's so simple to use. I really, really, really love all the things you can do with images in Canva. Usually you have to like open up Photoshop to make a background transparent or make a image have a drop shadow, but Canva does it all. I'm such a big fan. There's no idea too big or too small. We did our Fishwife investor deck on Canva and people always comment on how great it is. And it can accommodate anyone. You don't just have to be a fishmonger like me. If you're a startup, if you're a student, you're on a marketing team, you're a nonprofit, an entrepreneur, a crafty mom, you can make all kinds of stuff on Canva, sales sheets, menus, any graphic need you have, Canva can make it happen. Design like a pro with Canva Pro. Right now you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you use our promo code. Just go to canva.me/glowingup to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/glowingup. Canva.me/glowingup. Let's be real. We all shop online. It's pretty much my hobby. It's my exercise. It's my everything. And we've all seen the promo code field taunt us at checkout. Enter promo code here. I'm always like, oh my God, why don't I have a coupon? And then I start fanatically searching for coupons on the internet and I can't find anything and it stresses me out. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is a free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online, all kinds of sites, tech, gaming, self-care, you name it. It's the best. So here's how it works. Okay, you're shopping on one of your favorite sites, you're buying some makeup, you're buying a Peloton, what have you. And when you're checking out, the Honey button drops down and all you have to do is click apply coupons. That's it. Just click one button and if Honey finds a working coupon, it gets applied to your cart and you watch the prices drop. I was shopping on Sephora, you know me, buying some mascara I probably didn't need. And voila, Honey automatically found me a coupon to save 20% on my purchase because it was like some Sephora sales event. And that was it. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to stress, and it was just free money in my pocket. Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and it installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you're doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/glowingup. That's joinhoney.com/glowingup.
Hey Glomies! So today we're doing something a little different. We have a very exciting guest on the show. And the thing that's different about this is it's just me, Caroline, interviewing our fabulous guest. We're going to have no Esther, which is very sad. But I think that our wonderful guest today more than makes up for the lack of Esther. In a way. Please welcome the wonderful, incomparable, repeat Glowing Up guest. You know her. You love her. You idolize her. It's Rio Vieira Newton.
What an intro, Caroline. Thank you so much. And
Rio,
Esther is deeply missed.
She's deeply missed. Let's have
her
a moment
presence
of
is
silence. Moment of silence completed. Rio, for those people in the audience that don't know, and I don't think there are any, Rio, you are a skincare guru. You are a columnist for New York Mag's The Strategist. You write about your discoveries and finds in the exciting world of skincare. You, of course, blew up with the Google Doc I send to people who ask me how my skin got so good. I don't remember the exact title, but
it's pretty much that.
Yeah, Rio, you are so like on the cutting edge with you, and I feel like you've taught me so much about skincare, especially the very confusing world of K-beauty. You're just
definitely. It's so funny being back on this podcast, actually, because you and Esther were the first people who ever reached out to me besides my close friends and said, like, hey, I love that article. Like, would you like to come on the podcast? Ever. So I was so shook. Yes. So when I came on your Glowing Up Live, which was in New York, I was so nervous. I thought I was going to throw up.
It was a lot to ask of you in retrospect that not only do you come on your first podcast, but come on a live comedy show. It was at the New York Comedy Festival. It was like a full-blown comedy show.
Well, I actually went back and listened to it, and I could just tell my voice was so shaky. But you guys made me feel so comfortable. That's what you guys do. That is so great.
Aww.
You make every guest feel so at home.
Oh my God, we try. And that's so shocking to me. Like, I guess the world of skincare is so insulated from the rest of the world. It's such a vacuum. I think of you, like, to me, you're famous. You're like Brad Pitt. Like, in the small list of skincare influencers and bloggers and, like, Instagram accounts I follow, it's like you, Fitty, Shades of Snail.
Legend.
Like, such a legend. I'm like, who else are the amazing, sometimes like K-beauty leaning accounts that I follow? But you're
Charlotte
like,
Cho, I feel like, is
Charlotte
a real
Cho.
pioneering name in this space for sure.
Such a pioneering name in the space.
Yeah, she's amazing.
There's like skin. Oh, sort of obsessed. Did I learn about her from you, or do I? She's like a different girl that I follow. I just assume everyone I follow I found out through you.
I have looked at her Instagram, and it's super cool. But I don't.
I love her.
I don't know if I mentioned it the last time I went on this podcast, which I know because I listened to the whole thing.
But your column for The Strategist, it's like, I know your skin so well now. Your combination, are you combination dry hormonal? Somewhere like in that.
You know what? My skin is ever changing, but it's pretty consistently dry. My T-zone kind of has a mind of its own. So sometimes it's drier, sometimes it's oilier. I'm constantly struggling with the eczema and acne balance.
Gotcha.
So it's really hard for me to find products that treat my acne without completely stripping it and irritating my eczema. So that has definitely been a journey for me since I first got into skincare.
Yeah,
definitely tried so many things that were terrible for my skin.
True, because we've all been down that road, and I feel like this is so key to your teachings, if I may, where when acne first hits the scene in any person's life, your instinct is to attack it, dry it out, decimate it with acids or retinols. But and I think this is like a big teaching of K-beauty, and I think a big teaching of yours is that sometimes the best first line of defense, we have to embrace like nourishing our skin, moisturizing, and healing.
I really sympathize with people who overuse exfoliators, though, because I think exfoliators are one of those products that after the first time you use one, you wake up the next day and you're like, my skin looks amazing. So I don't blame people for wanting to use it every single night, because especially when you're going through, a period of time where you're breaking out a little bit more than usual, or you're not happy with where your skin's at, you just want to keep using the products that are showing you results. But really, it is kind of the art of skincare is knowing when to pare it back. And that is something that you only really learn once you've made many a skincare error, such as myself. Because as an editor, I try a million things.
Right.
So...
And there's so much to talk about. And the reason you're here, I just have to say, before we even go deeper, is you're not here for your health, Rio. You're here because you, very excitingly, have your own book, your own skincare Bible.
Yes, and it's absolutely insane. It is truly so crazy.
So there's so much to talk about, and I'm so excited. I read the book. It's amazing. Like, I can't wait for people to get their hands on it.
I'm so glad. I'm so glad you liked it. That means so much to me, Caroline.
And I want to dig into, like, what I found to be, like, the key takeaway. First of all, what is the book called? We got to let the people know.
It's called, let's face it, Secrets of a Skincare Obsessive. Which that was, like, the only thing I knew about the book. I was so nervous going in. I didn't know how it was going to turn out. I didn't know how long it was going to take me. But from the start, I was like, I know I want to call it that.
It's so great. And there's all these amazing illustrations in it.
Yes.
Who is the illustrator you worked with? Because they're so cute.
Yeah. So Laura is actually my childhood best friend. Our moms are best friends. We grew up together, and she is an incredible illustrator. And I knew I wanted to make the book visual. I knew I wanted it to be really fun and have charts that were super easy to digest and beautiful. And I've always been such a fan of her work, and I asked her if she wanted to do it with me, and basically we just tried it out and it clicked. So we decided to move forward together, and I'm so happy I did it with her because it was such a bonding experience as well.
Oh, and there's
working on a project.
There's a ton of illustrations in there. That's like a lot of back and forth. That's a lot of communication you have to do with someone.
Definitely. Also, like, it's just so crazy. It really showed me how strong our relationship is, because you could be best friends with someone, but you don't really know what their work ethic is like. And it was so nice to just have this, like, beautiful work relationship with her that ended up turning out great. Thankfully.
It turned out great. The book is, like you said, so full of, like, informational illustrations and cute graphics. Like, it just makes the whole thing so fun to read. And, like, tell me about the process of writing a book. Did a publishing company, is this something you always wanted to do? Did a publishing company approach you and say, like, Rio, we love your columns, like, would you ever consider writing a book? Like, how did that all go down?
Yeah, so I actually had an agent reach out to me, which is fairly common. Thankfully, my best friend is a book editor, so he really coached me through the entire process.
Right.
But I had an agent reach out to me, and she didn't really have an idea for what she wanted the book to be. She kind of wanted it to be more of a self-help kind of skincare for the soul, which I think this book does touch on.
Totally.
But what I was recognizing, especially when I started working on the book, which at this point is now like almost 2 years ago,
Wow.
I just realized that skincare was erupting from, you know, this little online community to $1 billion industry, and it was happening so fast. And with that came like this insane influx of products, brands, information, steps. And I think that can be really overwhelming for a lot of people. Of course, there are some people who absolutely adore getting into the nitty-gritty kind of chemistry of it all.
Totally.
But there's also people who are like, this is stressing me out. I just want to buy a cleanser. So I wanted to create a book that could speak to both the skincare rookie and the skincare veteran, and just create a guidebook that you could rely on anytime skincare felt confusing or overwhelming. And I just wanted it to feel like an old friend. It was really important that it didn't at any point feel like a textbook, which is why Laura's illustrations, her like beautiful, charming watercolors, worked so well. Yeah.
It's so true, because I think of myself more as like a skincare obsessive veteran, and I do kind of enjoy, you know, going deep into Reddit / skincare addiction, or like going deep in the comments on the clog. You know, like I will get in there and get my elbows dirty, but like there's such an abundance of information out there. And even me, someone who's like well versed in these terms and the skincare layering and like all the everything, I even get overwhelmed. So like I feel so bad when someone comes to me for like a simple question. They're like, what cleanser should I use? I'm like, what's your skin type? Do you double cleanse? Like I don't even know where to start with them sometimes, because there's so much to ask and there's so much to talk about.
And I feel like so many times people feel guilty for not knowing the basic fundamentals of skincare. They're like, oh, you're going to hate me, but like, what's a serum? And I'm thinking to myself, why should you feel guilty? Why should you know that? When people are like, what's the difference between hyaluronic acid and glycerin? I feel so stupid that I don't know. I'm like, are you a cosmetic chemist? Then why should you feel guilty for not knowing that? Which is why I wanted to create a book that people could just like constantly refer back to. So basically I just wanted to create something that made people feel like they didn't have to memorize all of these crazy terms and chemistry just to feel comfortable buying a product.
Oh yeah. I mean, when pH starts to get involved, that's when my brain turns off.
It's so hard. I'm studying that kind of stuff in aesthetics right now, and it's not easy.
And okay, so yeah, you mentioned when we were emailing that are you in esthetician school? Like, tell me what
I am in esthetician. Yeah, I'm in esthetician night school right now. It's pretty intense because I work a 9 to 5, and then basically as soon as I get off of my 9 to 5, I go to school, which ends around like 9:30, 10. So my days are super long, but it's so fun. It's genuinely so much fun. And I think, I think the best thing about esthetician school is refreshing the basics. I think it's really important to do that sometimes, just like take a step back before you get too involved with like the most particular things, or when you're talking about things on like a molecular level. Sometimes I think it's really important to just like take a step back and you're like, what am I talking about again? Oh yeah, double cleansing. What is that? You know?
Totally. Because like I can say 100 times, oh, double cleansing is because the oils in your first cleanse bind to like the oils and the makeup on your face, but I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that means. Like I'm bullshitting so hard.
Yeah. Do you feel like your routine has gotten shorter during quarantine, or have you been experimenting with a lot of stuff?
I haven't been doing a ton of experimenting, and it has gotten shorter in a way just because I'm putting on so much less makeup, and I'm indoors Zooming all day, so I'm not a daily quarantine sunscreen wearer if I'm not going outside. So, like...
I think that's okay. I mean, listen, I always, like, with sunscreen, when people ask me about, like, the politics of sunscreen, let's call it, like, if I'm in this scenario, should I wear it or should I not? For me, my perspective on sunscreen is just, like, try and make it a habit, you know? Like, try and make it as much of a habit as, like, brushing your teeth, or flossing your teeth is probably more comparable. But I think it just makes it so much easier when you just instinctively do it rather than think to yourself, should I put it on today, should I not? But I also, like, totally feel the days where just, like, skincare feels burdensome and you're like, I don't want to do that. I also think that that's important.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's like I feel like all my skincare tools are, like, staring me in the face. Like, you'd think during quarantine I'd have time to, like, hit the new face or really get into my gua sha facial massage regimen. But no, I've been keeping it pretty simple. My one big discovery skincare wise of quarantine has been embracing Differin, which is really...
Differin's awesome.
Differin is something that I just feel like I overlooked in my many years of struggle with acne. Like, I was like, Differin, like, no way that'll work. Maybe, like, I've tried it in the past and it didn't work, or I wasn't using it right.
That's what happened with me. I used it as a teen, and I used it all wrong.
Exactly. And I was really struggling at the beginning of quarantine. I got crazy hormonal jawline acne, like nothing was making it better. And I was like, maybe I should just start using a retinol, one that's specifically formulated or, like, it's really good for acne. Oh, yeah, Differin. And incorporating Differin has honestly made a world of difference. I use it like 2 or 3 times a week, and my acne is, like, way more manageable.
And then in the meantime, are you just using, like, gentle products?
I use gentle products. I mean, I do also, and I wanted to ask you about this. I do a chemical exfoliation of some kind, sometimes, like, once a week on my off days. But I don't know. I'm like, am I over exfoliating? I don't know. But in the meantime, I just use more, like, nourishing, like, nourishing stuff.
I mean, the thing is, if your skin can handle it, then, I mean, you know your skin better than anyone else, right? If you're not getting crazy peels or flaking, if you're not breaking out, then it's probably okay. General rule of thumb, I tell people if they really want to use a peel, like a chemical exfoliator and a retinoid, to do 1 week retinoid, 1 week AHA or BHA.
That is what the book said, but I wanted to confirm as well.
But truly, if it's working for you, that's great.
I have tougher skin. So, okay, let's talk about the book a little bit. And to me, the key of the book, and I'm not trying to oversimplify it, there's a lot of information, are the 5 pillars of skincare. Can you tell us what are the 5 pillars?
So the 5 pillars of skincare are illuminating, smoothing, plumping, healing, and hydrating. And my argument is that most skincare products and ingredients fall under one or more of those 5 pillars. So it's just a way to understand what your products and ingredients are capable of doing and what they are mostly doing, if that makes sense. So, you know, hyaluronic acid is both extremely plumping and hydrating. So you can look at, this is where the illustrations really come in handy, because I feel like the chart for the 5 pillars was really great at explaining this in a more visual way, but it's really just allowing you to understand what your ingredients are capable of doing.
And I think vice versa. Like, I think that we're so trained to be like, what does my skin need? Oh, I have acne, I need to get rid of my acne. Or like, I have wrinkles, I want to do that. But it's like, it forces, I think, the reader to go a little deeper and, like, articulate their skincare needs in a more, like, in a more all-encompassing way. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and also evaluate what products you're already using, you know, because I think a lot of times people are like trying to incorporate a million buzzy ingredients into their routine, when in reality, a product probably that you already have uses an ingredient that does all of these wonderful things and you didn't even realize it, which is why I think an ingredient like niacinamide has gotten so popular, because it really does fall under all 5 of those pillars, because it's capable of doing so much.
Niacinamide is really like...
This was her year.
Oh, yeah.
This was her year, and I'm so happy. It was CeraVe's year, and it was niacinamide's year, and I'm so happy for both of them.
I know hyaluronic really took a back seat in 2020.
She did.
She kind of fell off a bit.
Yeah, she was a little too bossy for a while, and now she needs to take a seat.
It's all about niacinamide for me. Like, there is no problem that I have that niacinamide does not improve upon. Whether it's of course you've got your pigmentation, so I guess that would be your illuminating.
Yeah, so that's like specifically for pigmentation, hyperpigmentation, acne scarring, anything like that. That was like personally, I'm always interested to learn like which of my products use ingredients that secretly have illuminating properties, because hyperpigmentation is probably one of my biggest skin issues.
It is my biggest skin issue too, Rio.
Yeah.
And niacinamide really does seem to help, but I feel like the number one skincare question my newbie friends ask me is like, what do I do for hyperpigmentation? It's like, it's the hardest thing to treat. It's
it
like
really is, yeah.
And I think that vitamin C, now I'm just like, I'm on my soapbox.
Talk your shit.
I find that vitamin C, like, can really upset my acneic skin. Like, it's hard to really it's hard to find a good vitamin C, and I don't know that vitamin C like really does make a difference. I mean, you just have to be really consistent with it, I guess.
Yeah, consistency is really key. The thing about vitamin C is that unlike so many other ingredients, its illuminating properties, shall we say, have been researched and proven so many times over, rather than a lot of other new buzzy ingredients that have hit the scene, which is why I think a lot of people are interested in talking about vitamin C. Having said that, ascorbic acid, which is like the number one type of vitamin C that you'll see in serums, it can be really irritating, and you're not alone. I have a lot of friends that get severely irritated by vitamin C, ascorbic acid specifically.
It's a tough one, and I feel like I feel like dark marks, post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or whatever, it's such a patience game, and it's like all about nourishing and like slowly working at it, but I'm a results-oriented and patient person, and it's hard.
Yeah, I think your combination of niacinamide and Differin is wonderful for hyperpigmentation. I think you're really onto something. I'm moved by that combo.
I feel that it's really working. I feel like it's really, really working for me.
Glomies, Caroline and I are so excited to partner with Ned. Okay, you know CBD has become extremely popular in the past year, which makes it more and more difficult to navigate and choose the right company, the right product. That's where Ned comes in. They produce the highest quality full spectrum CBD extracted from organically grown hemp plants, all sourced from an independent farm in Paonia, Colorado. I've never heard of it, but it sounds spectacular. They're a wellness brand, and they offer science-backed and nature-based solutions that offer an alternative to prescription and over-the-counter drugs. Ned does not cut corners nor spare expense when it comes to CBD production. They are doing it the best in the biz. You guys, cannabinoids, I can say the word, have a wide range of benefits and regulate nearly every biological system in the human body. Some of the best known uses are as a sleep aid, anti-inflammatory, natural pain reliever, treat anxiety and PTSD, treat depression, a rich source of antioxidants, treatment of serious chronic conditions. Okay, CBD is legit. And Ned products are like, they're so high end. I trust this brand so much. The research and the studies that they've done, I feel like they really know what they're doing. And they set out to kind of be the number one, and I feel like they're nailing it. And our promo code is glowing up, and you can get 15% off your first purchase or 20% off your first membership purchase. And membership has so many perks, including 15% off every purchase. And it's the real deal. So if you want to check out Ned and try their CBD for yourself, we have a special offer for our podcast audience. So go to www.helloned.com/glowingup or enter code glowingup at checkout for 15% off your first one-time order or 20% off your first subscription order plus free shipping. That's HELLONED.com/glowingup to get 15% off your first one-time order or 20% off your first subscription order plus free shipping. Thank you to Ned. And I do just want to shout out their full spectrum hemp oil, their hemp infused body butter, their hemp infused lip balm. They have really high-end, awesome products you guys will love.
Staying healthy and strong is more important than ever. I mean, I take my health so seriously. You know, I try to work out, eat healthy, yada, yada, yada. But to help me stay resilient and well, I love to take supplements from Objective Wellness. Objective offers targeted solutions like, better sleep, firmer skin, or a healthy immune system. And their products are crafted with high quality ingredients that are shown to deliver specific results. And those ingredients are backed by science. Behind each ingredient, there's scientific studies and endless hours of research. We're talking extracts from blueberries, saffron, microalgae. I mean, this is the real deal. And, there's no one-size-fits-all solution, which is why Objective focuses on targeted solutions that give you support exactly where you need it. I am personally loving their Immune Plus Wellness gummies. They're full of all these ingredients that are proven to help your overall immunity, like elderberry, propolis, and echinacea. I take them every day. They're delicious. They're berry flavored. I'm all about them. Objective helps me feel my best, and they can help you too. Go to objectivewellness.com, use code GLOWINGUP to get 20% off your first order. If you're not completely satisfied, you can get a full refund. That's the Objective promise. Again, that's objectivewellness.com, code GLOWINGUP for 20% off. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. Any products discussed or advertised are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Let's go back to the pillars. So,
okay.
You might have to say them again, but I kind of want to go into each one of them a little bit more and say some ingredients that might help each of them. And I don't know, maybe this will help people, inspire them.
Yeah,
so, okay,
definitely.
The first one that's coming to mind, you might have to go through them. Is hydrating one of them?
Yes, hydrating is certainly one of them.
So that's a common one. We know Esther is famously dry-skinned.
Yes, I get it.
Maybe some symptoms of lack of hydration would be maybe you're feeling tightness or starting to feel like aging or wrinkles.
Exactly. I like to describe determining your dry skin. When you wash your face, do you feel an immediate tightness? For me, that's absolutely yes. I feel like the SpongeBob animation where, he has all the water sucked out of him. That's what I feel like. I'm so dry. I can't smile if I wash my face and I don't put something on immediately after.
Oh my God, you're so dry.
I'm super, super dry. So yeah, I think there are so many wonderful hydrating ingredients. Is there any in particular? You're oily, right?
I'm oily, but hit us with a couple. Of course, hyaluronic acid is immediately coming to mind.
Hyaluronic acid is amazing. I mean, I think the most underrated one, in my opinion, is glycerin. Yeah.
Yes! This is what we want to hear.
Yeah, I am just in love with glycerin. The thing that's wonderful about glycerin is it's a humectant, like hyaluronic acid, right? So it attracts water, but unlike hyaluronic acid, glycerin can very easily replace where it naturally occurs in your skin. So it makes hydrating your skin and conditioning your skin very easy. That's why you'll notice with glycerin products there is that kind of conditioning feel that hyaluronic acid doesn't really have. It's so funny because I did a story about glycerin the other day comparing it to hyaluronic acid, and
I saw this. Yes,
I got so many DMs from people being like, what glycerin product should I get? I'm freaking out. What's the best glycerin product? And I was like, I guarantee if you look at any moisturizer you have, any hydrating mask you have, glycerin is the second ingredient.
I'm grabbing mine. Okay, this doesn't have a list of ingredients. Never mind. Okay, so glycerin, that's everything. A hot tip. That's a very hot tip.
It's truly a wonderful ingredient.
Okay, so let's move on to illuminating. It's what we've been talking about.
Yes.
And illuminating might be hyperpigmentation, or I
Yeah.
feel like I see dullness listed a lot, which is like kind of like a weird vague word, but I'm like, am I dull? I think so.
Dullness for me is just when you feel like there is like kind of a lack of, truly like a lack of radiance in your skin, which sometimes can be because you haven't slept very well. Sometimes it can be that you're dry as well. Dryness, can contribute so much to that. But yeah, with illuminating, I think truly like niacinamide is the wonder ingredient there.
Wonder ingredient.
I gotta give it to her. Licorice root extract is also cool. She's cool. She's a more natural ingredient, or it's often sourced through plant-based ingredients.
I got you.
So
niacinamide is so key, and like I have to give a big shout out to a product we always talk about on this podcast, Elta MD UV Clear. That's my sunscreen of choice.
Yeah.
It is full of niacinamide, so like when I put on my sunscreen, I know I'm just getting like a nice boost of my skincare's favorite ingredient.
Definitely. It's so good.
Shout out to also Glossier Super Pure.
People love that product. One of my best friends is obsessed with that serum.
It's been reformulated recently. I don't know what they did, but I like it. Big shout out to that. Okay, so
yeah, it's good. It's also relatively affordable, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, I feel like it comes in at like a cool like 34 or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
Just made that
definitely.
Up. Okay.
I think like maybe it's let's talk like high 20s, I want to say.
Okay, that feels right. This feels right. I should not just go around like accusing Glossier products of being $34. That was not cool.
No.
I just want to apologize
to
Emily Weiss. That wasn't cool.
Personally.
Emily, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. Okay. Hit us with another pillar.
Okay, so let's talk about plumping, shall we?
Plumping's an interesting one. Yeah. What would be the symptoms of like? How do I know I need plumpness?
So for me, I think a lot of it is about like lack of elasticity, also fine lines and wrinkles, which I think is important to think about. It's also like, fine lines and wrinkles, I think, are really great in a way. Like I think that they are signs that you've lived your life, and I honestly try to encourage people to embrace their fine lines and wrinkles as much as possible. But I also think that sometimes you just want to add that kind of like bounce back into your skin. And probably my favorite ingredient for that is ceramides, which like what's not to love about ceramides, really. But yeah, so they naturally occur in your body. They're the naturally occurring fatty lipids, and they're what help us maintain like exactly that like buoyancy.
I feel like ceramides, I see that word on moisturizers a lot. I don't know exactly what it means, but I'm definitely looking for a moisturizer with ceramides.
Yes, glycerin and ceramides together, wonderful.
Okay.
Definitely things to look for when you're buying a moisturizer.
Okay, that's huge. That's really, really huge. And I just want to like quickly just shout out, don't be afraid to moisturize twice a day. No,
don't be, yeah.
I have oily skin, and even I moisturize twice a day, and I find it just does wonders for me. Don't sleep on that.
No, definitely. Do you feel like your skin is worse when you don't moisturize twice a day? Do you feel a kind of tightness or not really?
I can't say for sure, but I can say that keeping my skin very, very, very moisturized, even with my oily skin, seems to help manage my overall oil production. My skin is not overproducing oil. And I think it's like my first line of defense in maintaining my plumpness. Look, I'm still sagging. I still don't know how to like...
No, you are not.
No, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, I still like wish I could like give myself a thread lift and like pull everything up. But like for now, moisturizing it's helping stave aging away. Honey, I drink.
Definitely.
I live hard.
So do I.
Okay. This is so helpful. I love.
Is this fun?
It's fun for me.
Okay, good. Okay, good. The next pillar is healing, which is probably my favorite one.
Because I was just gonna say this is my favorite one too.
When I am searching for a product, like I need it to primarily fall under the healing pillar, and that is my skin type.
That's because as we know, you have eczema, you struggle with
Correct.
acne, and those We gotta
So
nourish.
I'm really looking for products that just like calm and soothe my skin, because that will help both my acne and my eczema. And when I find products that do both of those things, I'm so happy. I truly am.
So eye-opening to me to like learn that even with an active pimple, don't kill yourself trying to dry it out, putting spot treatments on it, just like irritating that skin. It's like sometimes turn to nourishing and healing to like soothe and just give it some love.
Definitely. Yeah. And then, hit it with some AHA or BHA, once a week.
There we go.
Once a week. Just to kind of get rid of those dead skin cells, maybe brighten up the area, You don't have to get too crazy, but, once a week, once every couple weeks.
Let's talk healing, girl. So the one healing product that comes to mind, it's like the most Rio product in the world to me, is snail mucin.
I'm like looking at it right now because there truly are so many healing ingredients I love so much. Like, it's hard for me to pick, but I agree.
I'm a big snail mucin person. Ever since it was in the original Google Doc, it has not left my rotation. It only does wonders for my skin.
Well, snail is actually inhydrating, but I would say that it is no. But I would say that it is equal parts healing and hydrating.
I'll let the
I just
speak.
think no. I completely agree with you there. It is like, it does have so many wonderful reparative qualities. I just think that it's also incredibly hydrating. So again, like that duo, the combination of both of those pillars, healing and hydrating together, is why for me it's such a stellar product. As someone with super sensitive, dry skin, I also suffer from acne and eczema. So yes, snail mucin is she's divine, and you're not wrong for bringing her up.
Okay, tell me some more purely healing products.
I want to think of one. No, I'm trying to think of one for you that is kind of like fun and sexy. I mean, Centella, I think, is
I was
a
just gonna
wonderful
say.
one.
I was just gonna say. Where do we stand on Centella?
So it had been used a lot for wound healing, which I think like just says so much about it. If you've picked your face, or if you've picked at a scab, which we can talk about this. I am a skin picker. I'm reformed, but it was a big issue for me for a long time. A product like Centella is so wonderful because if you incorporate it into your routine, it's really going to help, heal and kind of like also bring down any redness in that area, which I think is so wonderful.
Oh, it's so wonderful. And I find that a lot of, at least some of the Centella products I use are like more like in the gel, lighter moisturizer category. Purito makes some great products like this amazing Purito
I love
moisturizer.
that cream. It's wonderful. Also, CosRx, all of their Centella stuff is awesome. I love CosRx.
Such a fan. And there's nothing better than like if I'm like inflamed or like oily or have an active pimple, which I do. Putting on that like calming cold Centella moisturizer, that's heaven for the skin.
Yeah, it's so good. I love it so much. Definitely an ingredient to look out for. There are so many ingredients in the healing pillar, like in particular.
You gotta buy. This is why people gotta buy the book. We can't sit here all day and tell them everything.
It's true. I won't spoil. And then the big one and the hardest one for people to fathom, I think, is the last pillar, which is smoothing, which is where things can get kind of tricky because that's where we talk about AHAs, BHAs, retinoids, which, I love retinoids, I really do. But I guess a little sneak peek into something to talk about is mandelic acid, which for me, I feel like is a very underrated ingredient. I don't know if you've had any experience. I don't know if you've met her before.
Mandelic? I'm trying to think. I don't know that we've been introduced properly.
So she is really great. Again, like obviously I'm speaking a little biased here because I'm so dry and so sensitive, but she is a big molecule. She's bigger than lactic acid or glycolic acid.
That's
so she
big.
is amazing. Yeah, so she's
thick.
She's thick and she is so good for sensitive skin types.
Okay.
Because, she's not penetrating as deep down into your skin. I mean, it's penetrating slower. So I just think that she's so wonderful. She also has some hydrating properties. And I just think she's overlooked.
What is the mandelic acid product that Rio is using these days?
There's a really good one from The Ordinary that I love. Do you know Naturium, which is Susan Yara's? Do you know who Susan Yara is?
I can't say that I do. I don't.
She is a YouTuber. She's kind of the like YouTube skincare reacts community, like with Hiram.
I'm looking her up now. I have to follow.
Yeah, she started a skincare brand called Naturium that is like very much ingredient focused, and what I love about it is instead of the ingredients being called like brightening serum, it'll say like 10% mandelic acid, which is kind of like the Ordinary system, you know?
Totally.
Which I think is so cool because you get to really know what you're using instead of just guessing.
Okay, that is cool. I'm gonna check her out and follow her for sure.
Yeah, she has an awesome mandelic acid serum that I definitely recommend.
I'm gonna check that out. I cannot speak highly enough of the book. I think it is a must-have, like you said, whether you're a skincare obsessive, a skincare newbie, you dabble in skincare, you're skincare curious. It's just a helpful Bible to have on hand.
I really hope you all love it so much. And Caroline, it means so much to me that you enjoyed it. It really does.
I completely enjoyed it. I thought it was adorable and wonderful, and I think the Glomies are gonna absolutely love it. Now, so this is like a stupid question this day and age, where can people find the book? Everywhere, probably.
There is a link in my bio on my Instagram that'll take you to all the different retailers depending on where you want to shop, whether you want to shop at Barnes & Noble or Target or an independent bookstore, which I recommend.
Of course.
Yeah. So
perfect. I'm happy I asked. And Rio, just in case people don't know, where can we find you on Instagram?
Yeah, you can find me at Rio VN. I also have a column at The Strategist, a weekly column. So yeah.
It's the best. If you're not reading Rio's column, what are you even doing with your life?
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
Rio, it was a pleasure to have you on. You're welcome anytime. We love having you. And everyone, go check out Rio's book. Let's face it, I can't remember the second part of the title.
Secrets of a Skincare Obsessive.
That's
you got it.
Rio, we love you, and we'll see you soon. Everyone, go buy her book.